NewsX now brings to you an exclusive interview with BJP MP Rajeev Chandrasekhar on his take ahead of the crucial Karnataka elections. Listen in.
Welcome to this NewsX special broadcast. I'm Harish Upadhyay. Joining us today is BJP Rajya Sabha MP, Mr. Rajeev Chandrasekhar. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, the election heat is increasing day by day. You're officially part of the BJP now. What role has the party given you, sir?
No, I don't think there's any particular role. I am like any other Karyakarta of the BJP or any other elected representative of the BJP, working hard to ensure that the message of the BJP reaches every nook and corner of the state and in my particular case the city, and have as a goal to win at least 24 of the 28 MLA segments in Bengaluru. So that is clearly my focus area, and that is where I am working.
How's the mood building up? We'll talk about the city in detail later, but you're saying you want to win 24 out of 28.
Yeah. In
Bangalore, across the state, how is it building up?
No, look, I think there is not a person in Karnataka today who will deny the fact that the last 5 years of Siddaramaiah government have been an utter and absolute disaster. The undercurrent of, let's say, opposition to the Congress and the undercurrent of anger and distress against the 5 years of an incumbent Congress government is deep, is palpable, and is very widely felt. So I don't think there is even a doubt in anybody's mind that on 15th of May that there will be a decisive mandate for the BJP government under Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa. There will be, of course, pockets within the state where there are some BJP leaders who have traditionally been locally strong, whether based on their caste or community, who will do well. But if you look at an overall perspective of Karnataka, the mood is clearly one for change. The mood is clearly one where what they are seeing in the Delhi Narendra Modi government, the kind of mindset towards governance, a determination to reach the smallest and the most vulnerable sections of society, I think people want to experience that in Karnataka.
Okay, let's come to the issues that we have seen in the last few months in the run-up to the election. The first one was obviously the whole Kannada pride push that we have seen. Mr. Siddaramaiah backing people who were asking Hindi signboards to be taken off from metro stations. Later on, recommending or asking for a separate state flag. Then obviously came the big play card or the trump card of Mr. Siddaramaiah of asking or recommending a special or separate religion status for Lingayats. Right. You've been traveling across the state. How much of an impact do you assess will these issues have?
So before I answer that, let me just tell you a little bit about Mr. Siddaramaiah. Mr. Siddaramaiah and increasingly his party president Rahul Gandhi, they are steeped in a kind of politics that was designed in the 60s and 70s. And what is that kind of politics? Their politics is not about personal popularity or basically a development mantra that transforms the state. Their politics is built around carving out sections of the society and giving them whatever they have to be given and fostering and nurturing that vote bank through decades and years. This is what Mr. Siddaramaiah has done. Mr. Siddaramaiah has miscalculated this time. Mr. Siddaramaiah, knowing fully well that he has nothing to talk about the last 5 years as Chief Minister, calculated that the only way he can win this election or he would be viable in this election is to define a new set of issues around which the election could be fought. So a few months before the election, he came up with these three things. One is the Lingayat as a separate religion, the second is the flag, and the third is the insider-outsider. Now, all of these on a good day in 1970 would have worked. Karnataka in 2018 and the people of Karnataka in 2018 are a very different bunch. They understand that what they must expect from a government is development, equitable development, and opportunity for all.
In the last few years, we have seen a very conscious effort of projecting you as someone who safeguards the interest of the city of Bangalore. Okay. We have seen it happening through the NGO. You have spoken out on multiple issues. Is there a larger plan, or is it just as a citizen?
No, I think maybe you started observing it last few years ago.
Yeah.
From the day
at least the BJ, no,
from
at
the
least
day I entered politics 2006, I made it my mission that I will do whatever is possible in my power to protect Bengaluru. My first and foremost reason to get into politics was because I did not like what was happening to Bengaluru. So my only political mission in life at that time was to do the right thing by my city, Bengaluru. So that is not a recent phenomenon. It is a phenomenon that is 13 years old.
Okay.
So that is one correction I want to make. It has become more visible now recently because I have taken on issues a little bit more loudly and with more verboseness than in the past. That has nothing to do with my politics. That is a consequence of my learning that just by wishing for good things to happen,
also the city degenerating more in the recent
and that I realize that citizens want me to take more and more action rather than just be an independent MP trying to do my best through articles and speeches and so on and so forth. So they needed me to be more decisive, and I have done that.
In the recent years, you've been very visible and vocal about issues of Bangalore. We were talking to Mr. KJ George in an exclusive interview. He said it's Mr. Rajeev Chandrasekhar and his NGO that is blocking the revival of Belandur Lake. They are saying unnecessarily they are creating roadblocks, even in the case with the NGT or otherwise as well. How do you respond to this?
Look, I think Mr. George, I mean, I'm saying this as politely as I can, needs to get his head examined. If there is anybody today who personifies the last 5 years which have been the worst in the history of Bengaluru, it has been the Siddaramaiah KJ George combination. And I'll explain to you why. Siddaramaiah, by making a builder the Bengaluru Development Minister, has not just done disservice to the city, but has done something deeply wrong by the people of the city. Now, whether it is KJ George's strategy or Siddaramaiah's strategy, I don't want to get into that. But when you start creating a culture of brazen corruption, where laws are just not respected, whether it is encroachment of a lake, whether it is potholed roads, whether the 35,000 crores that Siddaramaiah claims to have spent on Bengaluru, there is no visible sign of it anywhere. I am quite happy to be Mr. George's nightmare. I am perfectly happy and satisfied being Siddaramaiah's nightmare, because then I know I am getting the attention of the right people.
In fact, on the issue of steel flyover, Mr. George says it's Mr. Rajeev Chandrasekhar, his CEO, his NGO, and a clique of people who really opposed it.
Yeah, of course. I opposed it. I mean, he should just read the newspaper.
He's saying it's not a city's widespread opposition to that.
No, that's okay. I mean, I don't want to get into whether he represents the city or I represent the city. I represent what is right. The people whom I work with, the people who support me, are people who care deeply about the city. These are people who are putting at risk their daily lives, coming out on the streets with their families to basically say no steel flyover. So I don't want to make KJ George all about steel flyover. Steel flyover is for me the metaphor or a personification of KJ George's approach to governance. Belandur and the fact that after 5 years Siddaramaiah and 35,000 crores could not solve the largest lakes problem in Bengaluru. If he wants to blame me for it, I'm fine. He can blame.
There's constant reference to vested interest.
Yeah.
What is he referring to?
No. I think the vested interests are the vested interests that he represents. The builders who today represent the biggest threat to the city. It is the builders who are encroaching the lakes.
Yeah.
It is the builders who are dumping effluents into the lakes. It is the government officials who do not enforce law preventing the encroachment of these lakes. And that is the fact.
Well, the Congress is pointing towards a couple of conflict of interest or grey areas. They spoke about your presence in a defense committee and your interest in there were tweets that came out.
Yeah, so
I think there were a couple of articles that came about a project in Koramangala. How do you defend these, sir?
I don't have to defend anything. If there is anything that I have done wrong today as a politician, they should go to courts. This is their government. They can file a case. This shoot and scoot politics of the Congress is something that Rahul Gandhi has created in early part of 2017, which is when you cannot defend yourself, you start flashing things, whether it is Narendra Modi, whether it is Rajeev Chandrasekhar, anybody who asks deep, uncomfortable questions, you fling allegations at them.
Okay.
If they have anything, they should pursue it. What is the problem?
Well, we were talking about Bangalore development. Successive governments have really let down the people of Bangalore, whether it's roads or later on lakes, at multiple levels. So what's the BJP offering new to the people of Bangalore?
I think BJP has hinted through its various charche that they are looking at a new Bengaluru for a new India. Now what does that mean? And why is that a sharp contrast from what the Congress is proposing in its manifesto? If you look at the Congress manifesto, written in English, cut and paste, translated through Google Translate into Kannada, it's all construct, build. So the one group of people who are going to be very happy with the Congress manifesto are the contractors and builders.
Okay.
The BJP's view on this is, Bengaluru doesn't require more building. Bengaluru requires a new type of governance. Bengaluru requires citizens to be involved in the administration. Bengaluru requires citizens to be given institutional space in deciding how their neighborhoods and how their wards develop.
Coming to the larger picture of the state, what is your assessment? You told me you won't give a number, but where will the BJP stand on the 15th of May?
I have absolutely no doubt. On the 15th of May, there will be a clear, decisive mandate in favor of the BJP. I think what will surprise you is that the numbers of the Congress will be far lower than what they think they will get. And I think there is a really good possibility that the numbers of the BJP will be significantly higher than even some of the optimistic poll pundits that are giving the BJP a clean mandate anyway, will be on the 15th of May.
Mr. Rajeev Chandrasekhar, thanks a lot for
Thank you.
speaking to us. There you go, Mr. Rajeev Chandrasekhar saying the BJP will come with a clear majority, they won't require JDS, also promising more citizen participation if the BJP does go ahead and form the government in the state. Well, that's it in this NewsX special broadcast.